Welcome again, everyone. Good night. Thanks for taking the time out on a Monday to join us. So, tonight we have Olivia with us. Olivia is a recent graduate. She completed a biotech major and a minor in journalism, which we'll talk about more because it's one of those weird ones. So, we'll talk a little bit about that a bit. But thanks for joining us, Olivia. If you want to share a few words before we get started, feel free.
Okay, thank you so much for having me. Sorry for technical difficulties. I don't know.
That's fine.
Instagram always has something that it needs to fix, so I guess that's just one of it. But yeah, I'm happy to be here. I don't want to spoil the festivities, so I won't say much.
That's okay. That's okay. All right. We have a couple people joining. Thank you all so much for dropping where you're at. And as you join, feel free to let us know where in Jamaica you're calling in from. And if you're not even calling in from Jamaica and you're somewhere else and you're a Jamaican, drop in the chat. Let us know where you are from. Some persons might have joined late, so you might not have heard the introduction for Olivia. She's a recent graduate, and we'll talk a little bit about her story as we go on. But before I go into that, I wanted to introduce Minds of Jamaica to a lot of you guys. If you're not aware, we are a nonprofit organization, so we support young adults across Jamaica. We offer one-on-one mentorship with working professionals are the ones that assist you, help you, guide you. In personal development, career, whatever you want that mentor to be supporting you on. Most of our mentors are right across the world, so it's not just Jamaica, but we're all Jamaican supporting you. So I'm actually calling in tonight from Ontario, Canada, but I am full blown Jamaican. All right, so that's a brief introduction. Feel free to follow our page. And in the future, if you want some mentorship or you know of children, students that are interested and would like a professional mentor, please feel free to let them know about Minds of Jamaica. We have a nice website, so feel free to go over there as well. So let's get into Olivia's story. So Olivia, I introduced her briefly about your educational background. So tell us a little bit more about that mix. You said you did biotechnology and you also did journalism. I want you to give us a little bit more details, be specific, because we might have persons on the call that's not sure what direction they should go. And probably that mix that you have mentioned, it's something that others can do as well.
Awesome. All right. So the journey to finding what I wanted to do is was interesting because you grow up and the typical thing is, you have doctor, lawyer, teacher, probably
Hmm.
engineer if you can. You go do the maths and the numbers or accountant. So growing up through high school, I was attracted to the sciences. So I did biochem physics. I also did it in CAPE.
Hmm.
I don't know manage, but yes, I did it in CAPE. And then after during the process, I cannot figure out along the lines of what I'm good at and what
Hmm.
I think I cannot like. So from CSEC, I knew that I never liked physics. I up to this day I still don't like physics. Physics and me do not agree at all.
Hmm.
Right? Bio, I have a good love for bio, but I thought bio was a lot of reading. I can't bother. Well, I like to read, but the bio reading, enough things to remember. That
Hmm.
the memorization. And then for chemistry, I say, chemistry can go on. Like, it wasn't my strongest subject, don't get me wrong, but I found myself that even when it was hard, I still took the time to try to understand concepts.
Okay.
So I say, okay, maybe chemistry was a good way to go. And so during 2020, 2021, everybody knows that as a COVID period, you're at home, you're stuck at home, and I came across Man of Jamaica on Instagram, and I saw it
Hmm.
at first, didn't pay much attention to it, and then an ex friend of mine saw it and said, "Hey, Liv, you see this?" I said, "Yeah, look interesting. I'm gonna sign up." And my friend said, "Oh, no," well, my friend told me that he was gonna sign up. I'm say, "All right, cool." Me set up too, monkey see, monkey do. So we
Good
both signed up,
company. Hmm.
and based on the mentors that were there, there was my mentor, Miss Lawrence, and so she is a radiochemist, and so I was, going along the sciences. But every time you say, "Oh, I love the science," everybody says, "Okay, so you want to become a doctor?" I never had no passion to do medicine. Medicine
Mm,
was not my passion. From I was young, I have asthma. Well, I still have asthma, but during my early childhood, I would be in a hospital, so I'm quite familiar with Spanish hospital, or it's stay or you operate. At one time, the security them didn't even know me. I used to be trouble at one point. I have a wonderful elevator, and all them said, "Don't trouble the elevator." And me daddy did trouble the elevator as I said, "Pitney." So, but I don't know, just being in that environment, I just never felt any attraction to do medicine.
mm.
I respect doctors and nurses, like they do a whole lot, but when I said the struggle there was not for
All right.
me. So I said, all right, sciences, but not medicine. What me I go do? So I said, all right, chemistry.
Mm,
Chemistry sound good. Chemistry sound like something you can do different things. Cause the thing about me is that even though I might like one area, I'm just so multi-passionate about a lot of things that I just don't want to be glued into like one particular box. So I thought with chemistry, I had the opportunity to like branch out and try different things.
mhm,
So when she was my mentor, she kind of gave me that just a heads in of different things you can do.
mhm,
Like you have the whole thing of either academia, research, industry, and for me at the time, this was a very good insight for me. Although I was in sixth
mhm.
form preparing to go
Okay.
to university, because
You
that's
started
like
in lower six. You started with Minds of Jamaica in lower six.
yes, lower six,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so although my natural progression being you go to school and then you say okay, either you go work, I go university. Always want to go to university. But the thing for me is that I would be the first person in my immediate family to go to university. So I didn't have that
Direction.
kind of guidance
Right.
our direction, right, our support. So definitely Minds of Jamaica stepped in right there to give me that what would it be like. Of course I'm familiar with what university environment would have been like, because I had friends who were probably a year above me who went to U and said, okay, watch out for this, watch out for that. But they were in other spaces. They were
Right.
either doing medicine, as I said, or they were doing law, or they might do humanities. They were never there do what me want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So she was really a really good help. I can't remember all the sessions, but I know that we did like the phone calls and trying to see what would fit me best. At the time, I was like, okay, I want to do research, and then I think when I'm looking at the they call them something there, the
Mm.
requirements for you to go to do bachelor science in chemistry, you need a pure math. No, I never do pure
Ah.
math. I literally tell myself, say, me not the maths past CXC. Keep maths is not maths for me, because once you start add extra numbers, you do too much. You feel like you got an
Yeah,
extra
yeah,
step.
you're adding letters, no numbers. You're
Yes.
adding letters. But yeah.
So I didn't do pure math. And so one of the requirements was at the time, I think they changed it for my year, because the year before, or 2 years before, that it wasn't a requirement, but it was a requirement when I was entering. You need a pure
Mm-hmm.
math. I mean, I said, so I'm not the pure math though. I mean, just look at my thing. So they said, all right, what else we can know about SciTech? And then no, I was like, okay, I'm like, bio. Make sure I don't look over physics department. Physics
So
department now see
hold
me.
on, because you had ruled out bio at the initial part of when you're telling your story, Because remember, you ruled out physics, you ruled out chemistry, and you said chemistry maybe, and you ruled out bio. So how we get bio back in the picture again?
Well, when I completely rule up bio, I just wouldn't stick with like a strict bio program.
Okay, fair enough.
Cause
Fair enough.
yes, because I know that they do a lot of dissecting over there with the frogs, and
Mm-hmm.
my stomach not so strong. So a strict lifestyle bio wasn't for me.
Mm-hmm.
But the one that's a complete no-no was physics. So I didn't even look over the physics department. So I kind of looked through and I saw biochemistry.
Mm.
Now at the time I say, biochemistry, it's a blend of the two. So I'm gonna say, why not? And then after, talking with her and expressing my interest for research, was saying that okay, biochemistry is a really good foundation if you want to go into
Mm.
research. If you even say you wanted to switch and go do something else, for example, forensic, it's still a good foundation. So, as I said, it's like a generalization. It's like
Okay.
general. So it's not like you're boxed into one area. You can use the foundation and it's transferable to other areas within the science field.
So you started with biochemistry and then you
Yes.
ended up switching to biotech.
Yes.
So tell us about the options that were available now for you to do along with biotech, because I know that now you switched over to biotech, and that's kind of, where you're going, your trajectory, because that's your major. Now we want to kind
Yeah.
of switch gear a little bit and talk about this journalism bit of it and the options that might be available to persons as well that they're not aware of. How did you do journalism with a biotech?
Okay. So this, I say passion, I guess, for like media and writing kind of came about
Mm-hmm.
once again through COVID and through STEM and well, and lower sick. So, as you can see now, I have to join on my blog account. So I have a blog. I created this blog in 2020 because everybody in their home, you're not doing anything, besides, internet. So I created a blog. And then in lower six was when I was involved with the media team at my high school, which is
Mm-hmm.
St. Diego High School, by the way, right? One of the best, if
Oh,
not the best,
okay, man.
right?
My mom's from Jago.
Um,
Okay.
right. As a proud past head girl, I have to promote my alma mater. So,
Okay. Got it.
uh, so yes, I was a part of the media team,
Mm-hmm.
coming in every now and then to help with like the online devotions, doing the web team stuff, being an editor. And so being exposed to that, I was wondering, okay, what can I do with this? And the reason I chose this minor was a good teacher of mine, my bio teacher. He recommended that SciTech, and I say this with utmost love for my faculty, SciTech is a very, I mean, any major is hard, but SciTech is a very hard faculty.
Mm-hmm.
The courses will give you a lot of work. And so he recommended that if I could find something else that I enjoyed to help supplement, bring up my GPA a little bit, then I
Mm.
should pursue that as a minor. So I said, it sounds interesting. It sounds like something we can do. So he was saying, some persons might choose psychology, some people did management, chemistry, science and management, so like some we
Mm-hmm.
can do. I don't remember what exactly session it was, but there was a session that SciTech had of, I think like persons coming, and there was this one graduate who did a degree, but I didn't know this degree existed until probably after first year. There's a science and media degree that SciTech offers, and so it's a very unique degree. I think certain courses
Mm-hmm.
they pick from SciTech and um the meet from humanities, human faculty, but we never know about the degree at the time. So I said, okay,
Mm-hmm.
science journalism can work.
Mm-hmm.
Our next major motivation for me was definitely COVID. I would be sitting in taxi and hearing people say COVID come from 5G, the Wi-Fi that give COVID. I mean, I say all of them stories where people make up. I mean, I say where them get this from? And I could understand it because the information was there. There's a tons of information, especially when the vaccine came out. There's tons of information about COVID, the vaccines, everything that happening. But the information is such a complex jargon of scientific nuances that if you bring it down to the layman level, no one's going to understand what you're saying. So
Mm-hmm.
people are going to come up with theories, hypotheses, whatever conspiracy theories say, hey, this is what is happening. And so one of my hope or dream is that I'll be able to introduce, because I know it's something that's in the wider hemisphere of science communication, but being able to bring that feel more dominantly to Jamaica of science
Mm-hmm.
communication, where we don't only have the science and information, because there's so much happening in terms of
Mm-hmm.
science and innovation and development in Jamaica, but information is not accessible to the common public, so it's almost like nothing is being done. Because you can be doing a lot, but it's
Mm-hmm.
almost like the saying of, oh, if a tree falls in a forest, what sound does it make? If
Right.
you're doing a lot of all this invention and research, but no one is hearing about it, then are you really truly achieving the purpose that you set out to do?
Mm-hmm. So, question. That's actually a good point. And I too did not know, right? Like I didn't know there was such a degree. I don't know much about the courses at UWI, but that's good insight. What I would like to understand, because I know, actually, let me back up a little bit before I go to that question. At what stage are you right now, just so that everybody that's watching, they understand where you're coming from and the insight that you have. You recently graduated this year.
Yes, like November was my graduation. Like
Oh,
November 1st was my graduation
okay.
date.
So
So
recent, recent,
just finished.
recent.
Yep,
So
just finished.
So skipping to that question that I have now is, now that you are in this stage, you've completed, you have a really unique degree, but can be very useful in Jamaica, which we've seen it being used all over the world. In what capacity would you see yourself working? Is there a capacity in Jamaica for you to work right now as it stands?
Right now, I would say probably my best, I would say best bet is, I don't know if that's the right word to
Mm-hmm.
use, but probably to go into like policy framework and development in terms of the ministry. That's one step. But currently for me, I'm thinking more of going into the industry, because one thing I do firmly believe is that a lot of the policies are implemented that it affects persons who are working on the ground level. And so I kind of want to be on that ground level, like be in the industry, be in the research, see what is happening. So like probably 10 years, 15 years, whatever God wants to take me down the line. When I do, or if I do go into policy, I'm not coming from a place of,
You don't know.
oh, theoretical.
Right.
Yes. I'm coming from a place where I've been there, done that, and I've seen that this works, this doesn't work. Because what works on paper may not always work well in real life.
That is it. That's awesome. And Kevin also had a suggestion of technical writing. I'm guessing, Kevin, you're talking about writing like SOPs for lab equipment and so forth and so on. So you have work instructions, SOP, batch records, and that's underground. That's the biotech side of it. So I guess Kevin is saying science journalist. And I guess, Kevin, you can also drop in the chat. She's currently in Jamaica and she's a new graduate. So we wanted to use this session as well to give some advice and direction, if Olivia needs. So if you don't mind, you can drop in the chat, Kevin. But in the meantime, Olivia, what have you been doing so far to get into that very unique but amazing? I think you do have a great plan. What have you been doing towards that plan? I know you're recent graduate, but you must be doing something every day.
Right. And so it's right now I'm in a process of reflection and trying to focus myself on taking those next
Mm-hmm.
steps. So right now I'm reaching out to different persons in my network, seeing that any opportunities in terms of whether it's like volunteerism or short term to like see what's
Mm-hmm.
as Kevin would have said, then technical writing or like policy framework, just to get the insight to see if this is something really, because at the end of the day, you can always have something that you think that you're gonna be passionate about, but if you don't know nuances or day to day of what the job might be, you might end up going into it and not liking it.
Mm-hmm.
And so while I have the time now, I'm just kind of trying to get like insider info into what is happening in the space, see how would I fit in, where I can fit in, and just getting those different opportunities. So yeah, reaching out. I have a lot of free time now, so if I could like volunteer, certain spaces,
Mm-hmm.
go to internship, that's what I'm really doing right now, as well as I do have a part-time. Um, right, yeah, so yes, thank you, Tamir. So yes, the Minds of Jamaica space is also awesome. So we have a Discord. Is that Discord? Yes, we
Right.
have a Discord. And so I always keep to whenever Camille or anyone sends something in the Discord
Mm-hmm.
about what to any opportunities,
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn,
So I guess
WhatsApp
your
groups.
LinkedIn is very much up to date.
Yeah,
Resume, cover
very
letter. All right, perfect. So what I would actually suggest, funnily, before even agreeing, I didn't even know that you were coming on. I did my degree in chemical engineering back home, but I actually studied biotech here in Canada. So it was completely new for me going in. So what I would suggest is that a lot of times I know we want to start wherever we can get a start. And most times, the easiest place to get a start, especially in the sciences field, is somewhere in a lab. So it doesn't really matter what type of lab, it will give you a lot of technical writing skills. When I started here, that's why I was asking Kevin about SOPs. So I write SOPs for production. I wrote work instruction for production, BPR for production, because that will get your science skills going because you're working actively in a lab, but it will also get you some lab skills. A suggestion also for persons that are on here and are young graduates, when you go in, you work for yourself at the end of the day. You're working for them, but if somebody asks you to do something, your reaction shouldn't necessarily be, oh, that's not on my job description. Because you're starting to build you, right? So you're the
Mhm.
CEO for Olivia. And so whenever you go out, I know now you say, oh, I want to volunteer, but try to keep that in mind as you go along, that whatever you do, if they ask you to do something, you want to get your hand on everything so you can figure out what path you're going. I know you say your LinkedIn is up to date, your resume is pretty up to date, and you've been networking. Feel free to come back onto Minds of Jamaica and see who you can reach out to that is currently in similar capacities or might have connection in those capacities. Okay?
Right.
So,
I'm so glad you mentioned that because I almost forgot because I had a quick, wasn't really mentorship, but I had a quick conversation with Kevin on a phone call probably earlier this year because I found
mhm,
out he was in the biotechnology
right.
space. So, yeah, so the Minds of Jamaica space is really good. I love the new update to the platform where you can like ask questions. Because even just starting UAR, in the process of starting UA, I remember messaging different persons, especially when it came to that research.
Mm,
Because I at the time I was really interested about what was doing research, and I mentioned some persons who were in that space.
mhm,
Asked them, why they chose to do this. How was the transition for you? Do you think if my major is a good match for it? I even remember at one time I think I messaged Premier asking because I was even thinking of like going abroad,
mm.
and I know that Premier studied at don't tell me I know this. It's somewhere
Not that I
in that
remember
Georgia,
in our school, right?
University of
Okay.
Georgia. I think so.
I,
Correct me if
I
I'm
think so
wrong,
too.
Premier. I
I
think
think
that's where
so
he
too.
studied. Yes, and he even introduced me to opportunity there where they had a fellowship, and so even stuff like that was like really helpful, and I really appreciated all the advice to help.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at like, I did quite a few things with my Minds of Jamaica. I
So,
did two virtual training projects in bioinformatics, and it was
oh,
really good.
nice. Okay, awesome.
Right.
And another thing, funnily as well, is I recently started looking at master's programs to do. And further on, once you get some hands-on experience, it's something that you can consider as well. I also want to go into policy writing. So there is this unique master's program, and you might can find something that matches biotech and policy. But for me, it was engineering and policy making. So just giving you some thoughts to, keep having a plan. Because sometimes once we start working, we lose track of the end goal and where we want to go. So now that you have a better time, what I would suggest, and for persons on the call that are younger as well, is to map out what you see yourself doing in another 5 or so years, so that at least you have something to remind you. And because it's easy for us once we start making money to kind of forget our direction. So that's what I would suggest. But like the initial suggestion is to try to get yourself in a lab, some hands-on, so that you can, get the ball rolling.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. And I've been looking up some master's program as well, but I don't have any money, so you definitely
Get the
start
ball
working on
rolling
getting
in a
money.
job first, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Um, I think we covered most of the questions. But I have a question. What advice would you give to a new graduate just leaving school and in your similar position?
Um, I would always, well, two things is network. As you know, people always say network, but our networking is so important. Like, if it, I would say start from in university. That's definitely good. at least one lecturer you can like call on or someone to message about this. But something I've always learned because I did an internship at Wasinko before, and it's always reaching out. Like closed mouths don't get fed.
That is it.
And so talk, reach out, let people know. It's no secret. Right. It's no secret. You're not going to fire nobody not keep a visa, right? Because, certain things in Jamaica, I know my father has this mentality that when you're doing certain things, they don't want people to know because, the bad man you, they might wish bad upon you. But in this case, you want to get opportunities that are there, and the only way you can know is by asking persons. And so definitely ask, reach out, get advice,
Mhm.
talk to your network. Like I have so many. I just saw hi Chris. I just saw Chris. So Chris is my boss for my part time by Food Software. Great person. And so Chris, I expressed my interest to Chris. Chris helped me a lot of opportunities. I
Mhm.
talked to Tamir. I talked to persons at my church. I talked to my lecturers. I talked to
Mhm.
persons on LinkedIn. Like just talk, reach out, use the network. And for somebody who says, networking really not for me, like I'm shy. Although I'm here, being so nice and vibrant, I am an introvert. Like I like my own space. I'm indoors most of the time. If I don't have to
I'm
go
sure
outside, I'm
nobody
not gonna be
believes you,
outside.
Olivia. I'm sure nobody believes you. I'm sure. Nobody believes me
Um,
either, but I'm an introvert, so I believe you. Don't worry. I believe you if I'm the only one.
thank
That's
you.
I really appreciate it. A lot of times when you talk to new graduates, they don't talk as you're saying no, because there's a sense of shame or pride or whatever we call it that, oh, we leave school and we can't find a job, and a lot of times people in our communities, if we're from communities that are, not a lot of people that are educated, it is the point, oh, she go all the way to school and she can't get the money, she sit down at home. So I'm really happy that you share that point. It's a really, really, really valid point. And if you need anything, where we are at, feel free to reach out. I think that was all the questions I have for now, but I really appreciate all your insight, Olivia. It was lovely talking to you, and I wish you all the very best on your journey. I'm not
Thank
sure if
you.
Kevin had any advice for you, or Kamer, or anybody in the chat. You feel free to drop it before we drop off. Um,
One thing I would just add,
mhm,
especially for someone who's like just well, either just start university or you're going through university.
mhm.
I know it can be a lot of money depending on where, if you're like switching from faculty, probably doing an extra year. But always try to find out what you're in tune with and try to pursue that. It doesn't make sense that you're gonna be stuck doing a degree that you hate. Like I've seen other people, you
Actually,
know,
that's a good point.
get
Yeah.
stressed and depressed about it. And so, because, well, fortunately for me, with the biochemistry, biotech, how University of West Indies set up the program is that it's in a section. So, biochemistry, biotechnology, microbiology, and molecular biology, those four, yes, at least those four, they're all in a section. And so, the first and second year, all of us do the same courses.
Mm,
And so this was a good exposure for me because I was exposed to all of those four courses, the foundations of it. And then third year was like where really when you decide to say, hey, this is what I wanted to do.
mhm,
So even though I was on the biochemistry track, I still did microbe courses, I still did multi courses, I did biotech. And so after recognizing that, hey, biochemistry was not really the love for bio came along again very, very strong, and the love for chemistry kind of diminished. I transitioned to biotechnology because I love how it really implemented things that we learned from a theoretical standpoint to something practical. And I really appreciated that. And so that's why I did the switch. And I am just so I thrive in my
that's good.
in my major. I did a research course underneath it, and I got my only A plus from UA, thank God, and I did it
That's
because of
good.
that. So
But Actually, maybe a lot of persons on the call, everybody's not entirely sure what biotech, because I know you mentioned that you started off with biochemistry, you wasn't really sure about the bio, but you just tell me about a bunch of bio. So do you want to give us a brief synopsis before we jump off of what that looks like for you, biotech?
Biotech. All right, so I think the best way to explain it is just like give examples. And
Mm.
so in Jamaica, everybody knows of rum and liquor and all this stuff in there. But where does it come from? Do you know that most of it comes from ethanol, which is from yeast. So when yeast feeds on glucose, it produces ethanol as a byproduct, and that is what we use. And that is the very foundation of what biotechnology is. It's using biological concept and biological, let's say, concepts or foundation to give you that type of end product.
Mm.
If you think about sugar cane, or that's what you get rum from. What is that applicable example I can give you? Ethanol in cars. So if you think about your E10,
Mm.
your 87, your 90, ethanols are also used in car, and that also come from the foundation of biotechnology. And so it's all very encompassing. That's why I really enjoy my mentorship with Miss Lawrence, because she really gave me like the insight of it that, hey, when you think about science, it's not only just science in terms of, oh, you're doing research. There's also science in industry, science in terms of what Mr. Kevin does in terms of the engineering, making the equipment that the scientists use. That's a part of science as well.
Right.
They also have the academia side, the teaching side, they're doing the extra research, getting that funding. So
Mm.
it's very wide field, and so don't limit yourself, even to what Camille is doing. Even people might say, that really not applicable in Jamaica. But I did what was probably like one or two classes. But in my biotechnology major, I did a bioinformatics assignment. I did a class on it. And so
Mm.
these are the things that are happening now in 2024 in Jamaica.
Absolutely.
And so we don't have to limit ourselves saying that, oh, that are only overseas or foreign alone, them things that there are a lot of things happening in the spaces, and that's why I always encourage people to just always ask, because if they don't talk, let people know that you're not going to know. Because you're only going to see what's in your perception, what is
Mhm.
in your reality. But what is your reality is not reality for someone else
You're
who
right.
are exposed to so many other stuff. So yeah, that will be
Yeah,
my advice.
absolutely. I love that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And I think Mike was asking about Minds of Jamaica. Feel free to go ahead and sign up, even just to talk to somebody for a quick chat, Mike. I'm sure you won't regret it. Similar to Olivia, where she got some insight. We have a bunch of working professionals on the Minds of Jamaica that have done great work in their fields and in different diverse fields that we don't really know much about. So feel free to go on there, check out all our mentors that are in Jamaica. We have a couple on the call right now. So feel free, go on the website, check us out, see what's going on there. Um, Awesome, awesome. I don't really have any more questions for you, but I truly appreciate it. Young but brilliant mind, and appreciate you talking to us, our first mentee on Mentorship Monday. So it was amazing to hear from that side of it. Really amazing to hear from your side, and I wish you all the best. Like I said before, feel free to reach out to Minds of Jamaica if we have connections. We will definitely let you know, and tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend.
Yes, awesome. Thank you so much again for having
No
me. I am
problem.
glad to be the first mentee. I'm sure
Awesome.
many are coming along the way. And for anyone who wants to get in contact with me, my LinkedIn is Olivia Williams. I
Awesome.
have a link tree. That's linktr.ee/Olivia Williams. My resume is on there if you want to, send it to
That
somebody.
is right.
Um,
I love
my
that.
blog is
Yes.
on there. Everything is on there. So, shameless plug.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Good job, Olivia. Good job. I love that. And just post it on your LinkedIn as well. And feel free to tag us in like a comment and see if we can repost it, reshare it on our Minds of Jamaica. We do what we can to help you as well. All right?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it.
Oh yeah, let me show you my shirt. I have on my shirt.
Oh, look at
Mine's my
that.
shirt.
Look at that. Okay, great. I should have had on one too, but we'll talk about that another time we come here. Right, come here? But okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Olivia. Continue to tell your friends about Minds of Jamaica. And I appreciate everyone for sticking around and staying. Take care. Bye.
Bye.